going to come to sitting on the chair, so you can see me. And you might also benefit from something to bring your hands onto if they don't very comfortably come to the floor. It's not essential. Obviously, I've got a block. If you had like a little footstool or something like that, it's nice to have something to press into. But we can improvise. So yeah, let's just find a comfortable seat. I'd recommend sort of feet hip width, and if you it depends what your chair's like. If you're finding that you can't really put your weight down into the chair, weight down into the feet, then perhaps something under the feet. Just worth spending a bit of time setting yourself up well for this. And there's a sort of a whole range of things that we can do, even in something really simple like just sitting on a chair. So you could easily sort of slouch back, so your weight comes off your thighs, but actually there needs to be a little bit of weight into the thigh and into the sitting bone. So apparently that's not sort of optimum. If you're kind of falling back too far, that's not great because it immobilizes your spine. And according to the principles of fascia and connective tissue and how they remain healthy, you want to have enough movement, so you're not just completely static. So if you're kind of slouching back, like in a car seat typically, or in a sofa, for example, you kind of lose that natural mobility. Whereas if you're kind of poised on the sitting bones and a little bit of weight into the back of the thigh, you'll probably feel it now, that there's a sort of a buoyancy. So let's just, and ideally a little bit of extra height above, so that your hips are slightly elevated above your knees. That's another factor to bear in mind. So just a little bit of blanket under the buttocks or something. It doesn't have to be a huge lift. So you want to be able to put weight into your feet as well. And yeah, so just these are all little details to attend to. So some weight into the feet, a sense of weight down through your sitting bones, feeling of the hips being elevated over the knees, just not a huge amount, but a little bit. And also some sense of weight into the front of into the back of the thigh. And then there's hopefully a sense of buoyancy that you won't get if you're just kind of slouching back into the chair, which I know none of you would do anyway, but you'll know from if you're sitting in a car seat that you kind of just get really, really stiff if you're there for a long time. But if you're in this position, there's lots of potential for movement. Yeah, so that is better for the connective tissue, particularly of the lower back. And you'll know how lower backs suffer from sitting for a lot of people. So what you want is to maintain some movement, opportunities for movement. So let's just close our eyes or lower the gaze. We're going to connect with our inner world and cut off a little bit from the outer world that is so compelling, grabs our attention. We're going to do a little breath exercise. So first of all, we're just breathing in and out through the nose. Not forcing anything. And then we're going to bring in a little bit of the Ujjayi breath, which is we call ocean breath. And you know, it's got that nice sort of sound. It doesn't have to be loud at all. It could be very subtle, but like the ocean, like that sort of sound. So we're going to just have a go at bringing that quality into the breath. So we're restricting or constricting a little bit around the throat. And then the next step is to just linger a little bit on the out breath without that being a forced thing, which just to sort of linger a little, like you were, I don't know, when I was walking through that beautiful garden. There's maybe a little tendency to go a little bit slower through the rose garden. So relax the technique now, and I'll just explain what we're doing next. So it's just alternate nostril breathing, which I know I will have done with you and you will have done before. So we use the right hand. I like to bring the forefinger and the middle finger into my third eye area because I feel like that just feels quite nice. So I do that, and then the ring finger blocks the left nostril. And then you're just going to breathe out. So we're going to bring in that technique that we just used, but with the fingers as well. So don't think too hard about it. I hope it will be instinctive a little bit to you. So just breathing out and enjoying that long lingering out breath through the right nostril. And then breathing in. Block the right nostril and breathe out through the left. So you're unblocking the left. And breathe in. Block the left and breathe out through the right. Breathe in. And I'm just going to get you to do that for 5 rounds. And find your own rhythm. And the intention is for this to be a way of focusing your attention away from all the stimulation. And also obviously to deepen your breath. Enjoy it as well. And when you're done, you can just rest your hands on your knees or thighs. And let the technique go, so you're not holding on to any of that. Just letting the breath come back to normal. So we'll return to that at the end of the session with a meditation, which I think you'll really like. I found it last week. Yeah, but I wanted to just give you a bit of opportunity to practice it first. So let's pick up the right knee, and we're going to hug it in. And as you do that, try and drop the shoulders, and you can flex the foot a little bit. And be mindful of the front of the shoulders. Someone was talking to me about these like headlamps, used the description of these as being like headlamps, and how you want to have a sense of them being open and unobstructed. And you'll know, I think that we all do that little rounding of the shoulders at times. So just if you can keep that image in mind to avoid that rounding in, that will happen unless we keep a check on it. We're going to just do a little rotation with the knees, exploring the where you can go with that. It might not be very far. And then we're going to bring the left foot over the right foot over the left leg. And so we're working into the back of the hip here. So keep the foot flexed, and we're lightly but firmly pressing into the knee, so that knee is moving away from the torso. And hopefully you're going to sense some opening in the back of the waist area, back of the hip. And then maybe you can come forward a little and lean in. So just experiment with that. So I'm now moving. When I move forward, I'm going to bring my hands a bit wider, so that I've got one hand on my ankle, one hand around the knee. And just leaning in and leaving the body weight in. It doesn't have to be a lot of movement. And then coming up, we're going to uncross that leg and take it out to the side. So we're really stretching so in fact, I'm going to actually take my body a little bit, so that the sitting bones on that right side is more off the chair. And we're going to very firmly press into the outer ankle on that right side. And try and engage the whole of the leg. So we can press a little bit into the outer thigh here. And you can press the outer thigh back a little bit. So that we're activating the outside of the leg. So this is like halfway to Warrior Two. So depending on what your hips feel like, the left knee could move so that it's moving to the outside of the chair. So we're making that Warrior Two shape, but it's a bit more, probably a bit more intense because well, in a sense it's supported, so it should feel easier, but in another sense, you're probably going lower on this front thigh, this left thigh, than you would normally. So last time I think I suggested you put something under the front foot, the left foot, if your foot doesn't comfortably come down to the floor. So again, it's nice to have something to press into. Let's just see where you can go. And if you're finding that your hips won't allow that movement, just go where you can. It may be that you have to stay with the knee more at the front of the chair. So just exploring. And then we can take our arms up into our warrior shape arms, so the arms shoulder height. And let's move them back behind us, so opening the chest a bit, and squeeze your shoulder blades in. So again, this area, the front of the shoulder area, you're kind of opening it up. Now, just one more thing, as if you didn't have enough to think about. You're going to press down through your feet, and then imagine that you're dragging the feet back to the midline or squeezing them back to the midline energetically. So I think they call this movement isometric, in that the angle doesn't change. There's not any visible movement, but there's a contraction of the muscle. So you can do that and then relax the feet. We'll do 3 of those movements. So pressing the feet back together towards the midline, very firmly, and then relaxing them. And once again, pressing back together towards the midline, and then relaxing them. And then we're going to bring the hands down. We're going to shuffle that left foot back to centre. We're going to gently bring the right foot in. We're going to come into a forward bend with elbows on the knees. And move back onto your sitting bones, so that then you stretch out the lower back better. You can drop the head. Connect with your breath. If you enjoy the ocean breath, you can bring that in here. I love using ocean breath in a forward bend. Maybe you'll find that your body or your hands feel comfortable coming a bit lower. You could do that if you feel like you want to bring them to the floor. And this is where having a block is quite good. You can, because it means that you can press into something, which feels really satisfying, I think, to have feeling of pressing down. You can just make it more enjoyable. More sense of being sort of grounded as well. We'll take a little twist. So you either have your hands on a block or on the floor, or you can have an elbow on the knee. So we're going to just lift the left arm and turn to the left side. And let's take the hand and bring it behind the head, so that so remember, it's it's quite early in the morning. You're gonna, well, for me anyway, I'm finding this like I'm a little bit stiff here, so you can come up and down, and it doesn't have to be the full lift. Just up and down with the elbow, maybe going a little higher each time. Move with your breath. So. and come down, and we'll just come back to that sort of gentle forward bend, so elbows on the knees, drop the head. Breathe into the back of the body. So you can, thinking of that, you know, the image of the ocean that we use in that to help us with our breath. You can maybe sense that tide of the breath up and down the spine. And maybe that's just an image and not a sensation, but that's okay, because visualization is very effective. And softening everything. Jaw, belly, throat, shoulders, tongue. And then we're slowly coming up. We'll do the other side. So we're going to pick up the left knee. So again, sort of, we want to be able to get a good firm grip on the leg, but not so that we collapse the shoulders. So this, I'm trying to remember, I think it's called the Paulseroid process, this part. It's referencing, the word is some reference to the crow, I think, the origins of the word. So it tends to get very shortened. So we're trying to keep that open. I'll have to check the name and remind and give it to you later. So let's take a little movement with the knee. If you feel like your hips are very open, then go for it. You know, you can take it all the way out to the side. If you're feeling a little vulnerable in the hip, then it's going to be a smaller movement. And now we're bring the left foot over the right knee. Flexing the foot and gently pressing the knee away. And then maybe coming forward. But actually, just being here can feel very rewarding and satisfying and deep, especially if you're working the knee away. So that's absolutely fine to sort of stay upright and just keep a feeling of the knee moving away from the torso. But also, you can come down. Try and keep some weight back into the sitting bones, and then it will be more satisfying for the lower back, more deep. And up and down is fine as well. I quite like that, actually, coming down a little bit, breathing in and coming up. Keeping that connection with the breath. We're going to come up. Take this knee and the left leg comes out to the side. So don't worry about this right leg at the moment. We're going to work on getting this big stretch down the outer leg. So you can press into the outer thigh a little bit to activate the outer thigh. Press into the outer heel. And in fact, for me, and probably for you, it's probably a good idea to take your sitting bone on the left side right off the chair. And it will feel a bit freer, you're less restricted. really working that left leg. And then if you want to, it feels like your hip is okay with this, the other foot turns all the way to the right end of the mat. But it's fine for the foot not to go that far as well, so you'll figure it out what your hips will allow. So it's a warrior 2 from a chair. So last time I did this with you, I think I was more focused on the front leg, and then we compromised on the back leg. So this time we're not compromising on the back leg, we're compromising on the front leg. So keeping that back leg straight, the left leg. And then the hands can come up to shoulder height. Keep stretching through the fingertips, broadening across the collarbone, squeeze your shoulder blades in, and maybe the fingertips or the fingers move back behind you, the little finger actually. Pressing back towards the wall behind you. So opening up this front area of the shoulder. Keep breathing. Press back into the left foot. It usually will want to release a little bit. And then the feet, press down through the feet, both feet, and press them back towards the midline. So they're not going anywhere. They call it isometric contraction, where the angle doesn't change, barely discernible movement. And then relax the feet, and then do it again. So we'll do 3 of those movements. Pressing down, back towards the midline. Relax. Once again, pressing down, back towards the midline. The midline being the torso, this area. And then let's come out. So we'll take the, we're bringing the right foot knee back, and then the left one comes back. We're going to come down into a forward bend. So remember, if you want to use a block, take a block. But you can just rest on your knees as well. Drop the head. Breathe into the back of the body. Breathe into the back of the neck. We'll take a little twist. So we're bringing the left hand down. And so your left elbow could be on the knee instead. I'm just going to lift the other arm. That hand is coming behind the head. And this arm may not come up very high. It may just be little movements. So just floating up and down, turning the torso as you do so. It's nice to press down through that left hand or elbow to help you lift up on the right side. And then we're coming all the way down, either to the knees or to the floor or to the block, and just, pausing in your forward bend. See if you can bring a little bit of a cat arch into your spine. So contracting a little bit the belly area to make space in the back body. So there's a contraction of the front body to enhance the opening in the back body. And you can alternate, you don't have to hold that rigidly. You can kind of relax it and then take that cat stretch again. And then we're going to come up. So thought we'd do a balance. Do a standing warrior. We'll still use the chair, and you might enjoy having a belt for this. So we're going to take the chair to the left side of the body. And oh, where is my belt gone? Oh, here it is. So we're just putting the left foot onto the chair, and then the right toes are going to turn the other way. So as though we were, I mean, it's not quite a warrior two, but it's a little bit comparable. And definitely, you know, we get to look more at this bent leg that we kind of neglected a little bit last time. So you can press the back of the hand into the inside thigh and let the inside thigh resist a little. Press back. It can be quite powerful, that movement. And it should feel like something is opening a little bit in the back of the sacrum, back of the waist area, a little bit with that movement. And then the back of the hand comes to the outer thigh. And again, you can press into the outer thigh, and the outer thigh can press back. Feels good in the groin. And then, so I'm aware that my torso was turning towards that bent leg, but actually with the torso turns away from the bent leg. We're just going to come onto the ball of the foot, so we lift the heel. And then maybe from there onto the tiptoes. I know this is quite strong, but just let's see what we can do here. Ah, yes, good plan, Louisa. So I was going to say use the belt here. So I'll give you various options. You could, if you feel like holding the foot is just out of the question, you could have the belt round the back of the, not the back of the knee, but the lower thigh and lift up like that. But you could also put the belt round the ball of the foot and lift up from that. So you've got the chair there, so it's not too, well, it's still quite hard work, but hopefully you've got reassurance that the chair will support you if you can't keep the leg up. Just have a little go. Very good. It's good strength pose, isn't it? You're doing really well with this. It's quite a lot to hold the leg like that. So can you, obviously we're going to bring the foot down and then have a rest, have a little rest. We're going to come up once more just for a breath, but see if you can lift the leg without so much weight into the belt. So it might be that you don't come up very high, it might just be tiny fraction, but the leg's holding its weight more. I mean, we're still using the belt, but it's more the leg holding its own weight. Well done. And then come down and just release the belt. So we're going to actually turn towards the chair now. So we're keeping, if it's okay, we're staying on that left leg and bring the hands down onto the chair. So the toes of the right leg, we're turning completely towards the chair, torso, chest, toes, both feet. And we're going to just lean into this bent leg. If you're comfortable here, you could make the right foot slide away. Lunge, a conventional, well, either way it's a lunge, but it's a stronger lunge if the foot moves away. Don't worry about the heel being down, the heel can be lifted. It's nice to sort of really drop the weight of your torso onto that leg. When I say nice, it's not to say there won't be a bit of discomfort maybe, but it should feel sort of like it's a releasing. Now we're going to come out, so let's just take it smoothly, no jerky movements, and let's step, so the hands stay on the chair and we're stepping back into a plank. So one long line, so the feet go quite far back, the shoulders are above your wrists, and let's really squeeze the thighs together, really activate the legs, squeeze the thighs together. You can pick up your pelvic floor muscles or engage your pelvic floor muscles and the lower belly. So we're feeling a contraction of the abdominal area, and then make a little cat stretch. So a little rounding in the upper back, and to hopefully that's going to help you contract more in the front body. Keep the legs squeezing together. Well done. And then we're stepping into a version of downward dog. So the feet come flat to the floor. We're moving our bum back. We're going to straighten up our arms. So we're sort of moving fairly slowly, but hopefully I'm working you quite hard, but not too hard. So bum, really stretching the bum back away. The knees can be bent. There's no kind of brownie points for straight legs, it's just, I actually feel that bent legs gives you a much better stretch in the spine. But of course, if you want to straighten the legs, because it can feel really nice to do that, go for it. They don't have to be rigid straight. So step forward towards your chair, into standing. We'll go we're going to go the other way, so I'm just moving my chair to the other end of the mat. So we're using the belt again, so we're doing that warrior, that warrior to a chair. So it's the right foot on the chair. So the right toes point towards the back of the chair. Left toes point away. We're going to bring the hand into the inside thigh, back of hand into inside thigh, just to work that inside thigh a bit. So I forgot to say this, but I think you know anyway, that knee above the ankle is good, because you're creating a very stable structure. Whereas if the knee is, say, beyond the ankle, then there's a bit of instability potential there. You want to have stack the joints. So we're going to press the thigh into the hand, put the hand into the thigh. And then back of the hands come to the back of the thigh or the outer thigh, and press back again. Also turns away in line in the same direction as the left thigh. And then relax that. So we're not, just pause here for a moment. We'll pick up, we'll lift the right heel. And then we're just working to, but at the moment, we're just lifting the heel. I'm going to work towards balancing in a minute. So you could even just be on the tiptoes or the ball of the foot. And then when you're ready, you can use the belt. So the belt, if you're feeling, there's lots of options here. The belt can be around the back of the thigh. Or if you feel like you prefer to just use your hand at the back of the thigh. Or around the ball of the foot. I think this is a really challenging pose because there's balance, there's a lot of strength, and then there's a hip opening, which is quite difficult. Alignment's quite difficult. We want the left leg to be as straight as it can be. Doesn't matter how straight the right leg is, but the left leg is our foundation, so we're working on making that very strong.
Yeah, there's a loads of wobbling potential here. Don't worry, I think actually wobbling's really good. So you're working, and so come down, rest.
I'm going to tire you out. And in a moment, we'll do it again, only for a moment, just momentarily. But this time we're going to see if the leg can hold itself more, because I think, we put quite a lot of strain in the upper body. We're just going to see if we can let the leg hold itself, and it's just momentary. Don't worry if it's not really going very far. And then come down. We're going to turn, so the hands come down onto the chair, and we're turning the toes towards the chair now. And we're going to lean in to that. So it's a lunge, and we're leaning our weight in. So it's more of a restorative pose, in that we're not really trying too hard. We're just kind of sinking our weight down. And anyone wanting to slide the back foot away to go into something a bit deeper, go for it, because it does feel nice to do that. We're going to come out. So just take your time, keep a good grip on the chair, and then step the foot back. And we'll come back to that plank position. So it's hard to see yourself in plank, but you can certainly see where your shoulders are in relation to your wrists. So try and line up your wrists and shoulders. And then the feet will step back probably a bit further than you feel comfortable with. And we're aiming for straight legs. We're going to squeeze the thighs towards each other, the legs towards each other. You can use your pelvic floor. Feel the lower belly. So the lower belly is contracting a little. And then round your back a tiny bit. Press evenly into the feet, so you've got equal pressure into the little toe as the big toe. Well done. And then we're stepping from here into a downward dog. So just on the sole of the feet, let your bum move back, bend the knees as much as you need. In fact, bend your knees a lot, and then you can always work them straight. Drop the head. And then stepping forward. So we'll put in the chair to one side and you get to come down to the floor.
Wow, the time's flying today. Are you okay with pop? Do you know Anahatasana? Do you know? Are you okay with that? Where you're going to be kneeling? It's a little bit. I'm just thinking with your knees. You might want a bit of padding under the knees for this. So, so you're just kneeling. Your bum is going to stay above your hips, and you're going to come all the way down onto your forearms. So I was going to do this as a downward dog shape, but I thought kneeling might give you a bit of a break from. So you're going to set yourself up so you're on your forearms, but the right forearm is going to be parallel with the front of the mat. So the right hand is actually on the left side, so it's this sort of shape. And then the left arm is fully extended. And then you can bring, if possible, bring your head down to the floor. So it's Anahatasana or puppy pose, some people call it. So really extend through the left hand and then move your hips to the right. So you're going to feel a very deep stretch on the left side. You can spread the fingers of the left hand and press every joint down. And completely relax the weight of the head. Jaw. I'm hoping this feels really good. If you need to adjust it to be more comfortable, then do. It's nice to spend a little bit of time. So what we're doing is we're opening up all around the outer shoulder on the left side and into the ribs and waist. We're going to swap sides in a moment, just so take another breath or two here. And then we'll move back. You can come back onto your hands. And then it's the left arm that we're bending and the right arm that we're extending. And the hips move to the left side this time. We're keeping the bum above the knees. Looks really nice. Jane, it looks really good. I can see you very well. You're really nicely set up, so I hope it feels good. So you just basically move away, your hips move away from the straight arm, that's the idea. And then you're going to get a stretch all down that side. And I'm hoping it's going to feel really, really therapeutic. So one couple more breaths. Here. And then we wanted to finish with a, so we're going to come lying completely flat on our bellies. Actually, there's a couple of things I want you to do, but one is lying on our bellies, and we're going to do locust pose. But we're going to make it really gentle. So the feet come together.
we're squeezing the feet together and we're going to press the little toes down. So the head stays down for now. So you've got a feeling of the thighs pressing in, the little toes pressing down. And what I hope that's going to feel like is there's an opening around the sacrum. And then you can extend your hands out in front so that you're resting on the little finger edge of the hand. So that the hands are pressed down like a blade. So the little finger edge of the hand is like a blade on the floor. So really reaching away. And keep that feeling of squeezing the thighs in, and then the little toe edge. It doesn't necessarily have to touch the floor, but you're pressing down, and that's hopefully going to create a bit of an opening at the back of the hip area. So you can relax that now. We're going to hold the position, but relax the effort. And we're going to, so with the right hand, we're going to press very firmly into that right hand. And then we're going to just lift the left hand. You can look up a little. It doesn't have to be much movement up. So the left hand is lifted, and then you can lift the right foot a little. But you keep that, you maintain that feeling of the little toe edge pressing down. Even though it's, may not actually go anywhere. But the direction of energy is down with the little toe towards the floor. We're going to hold that and breathe. And then drop everything back to the floor, rest the head. Relax your effort completely. We'll go the other way. So we're going to press the left hand down and lift up the right hand. So we're doing the other side basically. So and then it's oh gosh, I've got into a muddle. It's the opposite side. So so whichever leg you lift, it's the opposite hand you lift. Or whichever hand you lift, it's the opposite leg you lift. And the hand that's on the floor, you're going to really press very firmly down through the blade of that hand. Sorry, I got into it's because I'm often trying to do the opposite side to you, and then but you'll know which side you did and which is the correct opposite side for you. So don't worry about it being a big lift. There's a lot of strength in a small lift. Come down, completely relax your weight. You can be supported if you want. You can put your hands under your head. So I wanted to finish with a bit more of that. It's a lovely opportunity to sort of open up the back of the hip area. So we're gonna come back up to seated. We're gonna use a belt as well. So we did a bit of this last week. So first of all, we're going to sit with the right leg as though we were taking a cross-legged position, but the left leg is going to be bent with the sole of the foot on the floor. So have the belt nearby. We'll use this in a minute. We're going to press the right hand into the left knee. And the left knee is going to press back. And that, I'm hoping you should feel something happening at the back of the hip, sacrum, around that area. And then you can turn your gaze away from the left towards the right side. There's a little bit of a twist here. And then relax that completely. So now we'll take the left leg out to the side, and we can use the belt for this. So the belt is around the ball of the foot. We want to feel anchored, so we're not just going to lose that connection through the right side. We're going to just lean into the left side. Keep the right thigh, buttock down. Breathe into this right side. Maybe the arm can come up. It doesn't have to be a big extension, but it might be that you enjoy just a hand behind the head or just a little lift. It's really nice for the back of the hip area. Make time to breathe. Coming up in a moment. Just take your time and come up. So we'll release the foot, put the belt down. Let's just go the other way. So we've got the right foot flat. So it's as though we're going to be in a cross-legged position with the left leg. But the right foot is flat on the floor. The left hand is going to press into this inner thigh. And then we're going to just, we're turning our gaze, our torso a little bit, our chest towards the left. And then relax that. And we'll just extend that right leg. And this pose, you can make it very, very intense and have the foot miles away. It's fine to have such a big wide stance for it, so you don't have to have the. And also, you could even have a little bit of a bend in the right leg when you're working, or if you've got an injury, for example. So we're just holding this, trying to keep a nice sense of connection down through the left sitting bone and leaning in. And breathing. So if you find that you don't lean in very happily, it feels a bit awkward, you could use a block or something to support the right arm. That can feel quite good. It's got something to press into, but you don't have to go quite so low. Or a pile of books. And then the left hand up and behind the head. Fine, maybe that's a bit much for your shoulder, then don't lift even, you don't even have to come up that high, just a little bit of a lift. And let's just bring the arm down first. And slowly come back up. Release your foot. Bring both feet together for a moment, if that's okay to do that. If it's hard, then take the feet a lot further away, or you could have the feet apart as well. But so this is, I love this for that back of the waist, the back of the hips should feel quite good. You can press into the little toe edge as well. And it could be a forward bend, but you could also stay upright if that felt better. You could hold the feet if you're comfortable coming lower. Breathing into the back of the body. So take another 2 breaths here. And then coming up. So we'll do our Shavasana now, and this is where I will get to practice the little bit of what we did at the beginning, the alternate nostril breathing, but we're not going to use our hands this time. So yeah, just make sure you've got whatever you need to be comfortable for your Shavasana. So something under the knees is good, or knees lifted, legs lifted, on a chair maybe. Get comfortable. We want to feel that the chest is open, so that area of the front of the chest that we were looking at earlier. One way of opening that is a little squeezing in with the shoulder blades, a little contraction, and then relax. So you can do that 2-3 times to open the front of the chest. And also, as you're doing that, pull the shoulder blades down towards your waist, and that will drop your shoulders, top of the shoulders. Do that a couple of times. And then we're going to come into that alternate nostril breathing again. So, but before we do that, let's just take some deep, easy breaths through the nose. So we're starting on the left side. So remember, visualizing is good if you're not sensing the breath itself. So we're going to breathe in through the left nostril. Breathe out through the right nostril. Breathe in through the left nostril. Breathe out through the right. Continue that for another 3 breaths. Breathing in through the left. Breathing out through the right. We will just swap now to the other side. So you're going to breathe in through the right. Breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the right. Out through the left. And do 3 more. When you've done those 3, just relax the technique completely. So not trying to shape your breath in any way. We're going to do something a little different. So at this time we're breathing in through both nostrils evenly. And I want you to visualize the breath ascending up towards the midbrain. So as you breathe in, ascension up towards the midbrain, which is sort of back of the third eye, at the back of the forehead. And pause for a moment as you, at the top of the inhale, to let the breath collect like a reservoir, a pool of energy. And on your out breath, you're going to descend that energy or send that energy down to the heart. So we'll just do a few of these breaths, breathing in evenly through your nose, pausing so the energy, the vitality, the life source can collect in the midbrain. And on the out breath, sending that down to the heart. So we're using the breath to light the flame of the heart, or lighten the heart. So nurturing the energy of the heart. Maybe you can even visualize like a little flame, a little candle in the heart space, that on that out breath you're fanning that a little. Strengthening it. So enjoy that feeling, sending warmth, vitality to the heart. nurturing with each cycle of breath. And you can melt into that feeling. Do 2 more breaths like that. And then relax the technique. And just rest in the sensation that nothing to do, nothing to prove now, just enjoying that sense of the lightness of heart. You can allow it to spread. It doesn't have to be contained in the heart space. It could be moving into the crown of the head, into the fingertips and tiptoes, like little tingling, flickering sensations. Iridescent light. Rippling, shimmering. So, if you're ready to return to the body, to the outer world, then we can begin to bring some very subtle movements, small movements into the fingers, hands. So I will invite you to take your thumbs and very lightly press them against the forefinger. Most delicate of movements. And then you can take the thumbs, move them to the 3rd finger. And then the 4th finger. And the little finger. So just such incredible delicacy of movement, subtle. And from here you can roll onto your side and rest on your side for a moment. So again, it's just like a little reconnect with yourself, with the earth, with your breath, with the outer world. And slowly you can come up to sitting. So sit comfortably. Bring the thumb and the forefinger together and rest the backs of the hands against the legs. And you can little light downward pressure through the back of the hands to lift the body, the crown of the head nicely upright, and a little bit of awareness around this area of the shoulder. So we're not thinking of the image of the light again, not headlights, not shutting those down. We're going to finish by bringing our hands together and resting the thumbs at the sternum, heart center, breastbone. Deep breath in and out. Thank you very much, everyone. Very nice to do yoga with you all. I'm just going to pause the recording. Stop the recording.